guys. So I wanted to just talk about what this week is going to look like. So it's going to be a little bit different than what we've normally done. This week, you are going to be taking charge of your landscape. All of our landscapes are different and they all include different things. So I have placed a series of videos of how to draw different elements that you might find in a landscape. You are going to be required to watch the videos before shading. I do want to talk a little bit though about how I want you to complete this landscape. If you recall from my other videos, we should always be shading things that are furthest away from us first, and then gradually draw things as they get closer to us. So notice I drew my sky first, that's the thing that's furthest away. Then I did my mountain range, and now I'm gonna move on to this like tree line that I have in the middle. So while I'm doing this, notice that I'm drawing from the top to the bottom of my landscape. The reason for that is a lot of times you might have values from something that's behind something that kind of peeks through. So for instance, like I might have some grass that peeks through foliage in a tree that I'm going to be placing in my foreground. Or I'm going to have this water that's peeking through my foliage leaves that I'm going to be shading on top. So because that water is peeking through, I have to draw that first before I draw any fun bits in my foreground. So work from the top to bottom, furthest thing back to the foreground. Now let's talk about where you can find the videos for learning how to draw different things in your landscape.
Okay, in week 4, and the dates might look differently depending on when you're taking this class, you're going to see a folder called How To Video. So if we just go there, within this How To Video folder, there's going to be a couple of different sections on things that you can draw. I'm going to be adding to this if I feel like I need to add some extra things in. So first, for how to draw trees, there are 4 videos that you can choose to draw from. I want to talk about each one so you understand what you're going to be learning about, so you can better choose a video that best suits what you're drawing in your landscape. So for this first one, the Easy Tree Sketch Step by Step, you're going to see 3 different types of trees and learn how to shade each one of them. This video is not that long. I think it's about 7 minutes, so it's just a really fast introduction into shading these 3 different types of realistic trees. So if you have a tree that's similar to this, then I would recommend watching that. The second video is how to draw trees that are clumped together, and this is a great video to watch if you have like a tree line that's kind of off into the distance. This artist is going to show you the exact details on how to put that in. Now he is using a tortillon stick. My cyber students, I don't think you guys have one in your portfolio. So you can go ahead and buy one from a craft store. I know they have some at Walmart, I believe. Or you can just take a piece of tissue and roll it up to where you get a really nice fine point, and you can use that as well. The third option is how to draw a tree with more detail. If you have a tree that's up in your foreground and it's a pretty big detailed tree, this is a phenomenal video that you can watch that will really show you how to put the detail of these little branches that you might be seeing through, as well as realistic clumps of foliage. The last video is a basic one that's done by the virtual instructor. I love this guy. He just shows really nice, simple, easy ways to put trees in. And this just shows you some basic ways to draw and shade trees. The tree we're seeing on the right is a pine tree. So if you have a lot of pine trees in there, then I would definitely watch this video on how to shade those in. His trunk is a little bit longer. Most pine trees that you see in a landscape are going to have shorter trunks. So just, obviously change the length of the trunk that you're seeing within your own landscape. For the how to draw mountains and rocks, this first video that says tips for success when drawing and shading rocks, you're going to be required to watch that one if you have any rocks or mountains in your landscape. It's a video that I've made that just gives you some really great things to look for. In addition to this tips for success video, the second half of it shows you how to shade a mountain range. So if you have a mountain range, you can watch that portion. And this is what we end up with by the end of the video. It's not long. I think it's around like a 10-minute video. Now, if you just have rocks in your landscape, watching the whole mountain range one is still going to be very helpful. But there's just another video done by the virtual instructor where he shows you how to shade individual rocks, taking a lot of the same tips of success that I talked about in the previous video. Now this last folder of how to draw realistic textures, I'm going to be adding some extra things in here like how to shade water. So if you have water in your landscape, please don't put that in yet until I say that I've posted a video for that. But this first one is fine grass detail and tree bark. In addition to this video that you're going to be seeing online, he has a middle portion of how to draw foliage, but I'm going to ask that you do not draw the way he's showing his foliage. It's kind of a more stylized way, and it's not the realistic way that we're wanting to draw. But this fine grass detail is great if you have large blades of grass that you're seeing in your foreground. This is a good technique that you could possibly use. He also shows how to draw bark realistically. So if you have kind of a large tree where you can see the bark in your photo, then this is a really great resource to use to make that bark look more realistic. The last video is shading grass in a meadow, which I know many of you have. So if you have grass in a meadow, don't use the fine grass detail video that I've previously done. You're going to want to look to this one because he does a lot of amazing tips and tricks. Now here he has a really nice eraser type pencil, and you can go ahead and go to Michael's and buy one like this, or you can just use your kneaded eraser and mold the tip of it to a really nice fine point or a really nice thin line, and then you can use that to erase in these white lines that we're seeing here in the meadowed grass. But these are going to be where you find your videos on how to shade the different things in your landscape. I would like you to only watch these videos. I know that there's a lot of resources online. However, a lot of times they're not good technique and they're not the proper technique that I want you to follow. So please stick to these videos that I provided for you on how to complete shading different things within your landscape. And if you have any questions on anything in your projects, just let me know and send me a picture of your work in Schoology. But you have to still be checking the updates daily and making sure that you're doing everyday assignment. I'm going to be asking to see in progress photos of your work to make sure you're meeting deadlines, because this project is going to be due next week. So every day you should be getting a little bit more done, and I'm going to be requiring you to send me photos of your in progress work so I know you're hitting those deadlines. Good luck.